Everything you need to know about products and services that can improve your life. This is Experts on Call on CL 650.
And we're back. This is Experts on Call on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton. Today, we're talking about insurance. Joining us in the studio are the insurance experts featuring Tira Rary from IntactInsurance, along with Andrew Tablotny of Laguerre Pelling Insurance. And so far in this program, we've been talking about how to prepare yourself and your home and your environment for the summer. It's only a couple of weeks away. So let's talk about the general rules about being away from your home for extended periods of time. Is there a general rule?
You definitely want to prepare before you go, especially when it comes to water damage in particular. So turning off that water, draining your pipes and plumbing fixtures within the home of water so that you're preventing water damage from happening before you leave.
We put that as number one. Turn off the water main. And we have covered some of the other topics as well about, alerting your neighbors that you're going away and arranging for someone to pick up the newspapers that are going to gather on your front step or redirecting your mail. Andrew, I think you suggested that as well.
We said, about somebody picking up your mail, but you actually can contact your post office and actually have them hold your mail for you for a specific period of time. So, other things you can do is if you don't have extra cars, is maybe ask the neighbor to park in your driveway so your house looks like there's somebody at the house looking at it. Hire the neighborhood kid to cut the lawn once for you while you're gone, so it's not 6 inches high, because that's a good indicator usually that there's nobody at the house. So, or
you just don't look after your yard, which does happen in some neighborhoods.
Yes.
I'm not always on time with cutting my grass, but it's funny you should mention the example of having a neighbor park their car in your driveway. And that was actually done when we first moved into our neighborhood a couple of years ago. I took, I didn't even know anybody in the neighborhood, and I thought, well, I'm just going away for a week. It really won't matter. And the neighbor, when we came back, she introduced herself and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were away. I put my car in your driveway to make it look like you were home."
I just finished doing that. The house next door sold to us, and the house had been vacant for quite a while. So I knew the people that had left, and so I said, "Well, if you want, I'll just park on your driveway," because I got too many cars. At the time, I had a couple of kids still living at home, so I parked in their driveway, and
it helps. Yeah. It helps. And setting your lights on timers as well. That was another topic that we touched on.
And one I always suggest is actually tie it into some music, so then it sounds like there's actually somebody in the house. They can't necessarily tell, but if you put that timer to go with have your radio go on with it at the same time, not just the lights, but have some music on, then it makes it even more.
I used to put the radio on for the cat.
Yeah.
When I was away, a couple of nights. What about somebody house sitting? If you have, say you're gone away for an extended period of time, maybe 2-3 weeks, and you've got a friend or a neighbor or somebody who's actually going to come and stay in your house.
Perfectly allowable. The only thing is you should advise your insurance company, because they may or may not have some restrictions. I know with Intact that if your house have a house sitter, they're going to put a restriction on theft coverage, meaning that if something goes missing, there has to be visible signs of forced entry, so it have to actually be burglary as opposed to just theft.
I guess that would be a safeguard that the person that you've let into your home hasn't stolen from you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I never thought about that. Now, what about renting out your house during the summer? I know this has become a really common occurrence with the new companies like Airbnb and short-term rentals and VRBO, the vacation rental by owner. What if you have an option to rent out your house for the summer?
Well, I can tell you this is certainly getting a lot more popular these days, but it does present some concerns as far as insurance is concerned. You want to definitely consider who you're going to allow in your home. Are they friends? Were they referred by friends? Or did you simply post your rental online and this is somebody you don't know at all?
You're attracting a complete stranger from another country.
Exactly. So, in fact, there was actually a recent event in the news in Alberta, where I'm from, about a short-term rental in a home that didn't turn out so well. The renters left behind thousands of dollars in damage to the family's home, and it included damage to some priceless possessions. So you do take a risk. There is some risk involved. So if you're considering renting your home, it's really important to talk to a broker such as Andrew, because there are some risks that you need to mitigate, and Andrew would likely need to refer that type of risk to the insurance company to ensure that they will provide you with coverage while that's happening.
What are some of the questions that we should ask if we want to do something like this?
If you want to rent out the house?
Yeah.
Well, I guess each, depending on the company, they look at, they all have their different appetites for this type of risk. So they're going to look at, how long have you known, as she said, how long have you known the clients? What have you done to research where they're from? I know I did a house exchange about 15 years ago, and at that time the insurance company said there was no problem there. Again, they put a restriction, gave me a higher deductible, and put a restriction on theft.
Did you know the people you were exchanging with?
No, they're from England. They came over and stayed in my house for 5 weeks, and I went to their place for 5 weeks, and we exchanged cars.
You just did this online, so it was like completely random?
But we communicated for several weeks, and the gentleman was a professional. He was a doctor or something like that. So it was, I wasn't just renting to any person. I had a certain comfort level. But
you had your own screening process,
right? Yes, and that's what the insurance company's going on want to know. To what extent did it come through an agency, or is this just some random person that's come to want to rent your place? The house insurance ones tend to be fairly restrictive because you've got a lot of contents there. If you've got a seasonal dwelling, the insurance companies tend to be a little more flexible on those, and they've actually, Intact even has an endorsement that allows you to rent out your seasonal on short-term rentals. So because we've got Whistler and summer homes in the Okanagan, so there's a lot of people want to come here. So those types of risks, there's endorsements that allow you to pay additional premium for it, and it allows you to rent those facilities out. And then you've got bed and breakfast.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
What if you had the extra room and you just wanted to rent it out as a bed and breakfast?
Yeah,
It
so
wasn't like you were still going to be home.
You do a business, but then
on occasion.
Yeah, so you got to be properly licensed and set up, and then you can do, I think $1 million liability would be about $260 a year to set up a bed and breakfast policy, and that provides you liability and the extra burglary or extra theft coverage concern.
So the whole topic of preventing burglary is to be smart, to safeguard your home, make sure you have you've done all the necessary things to not invite a burglar into your home.
Exactly.
It sounds really simple. It sounds really simple, but this is something that happens every day. Tara, you commented earlier, it's a B&E, a break-in enter. It's an everyday occurrence. Things like this summer is going to attract the fact that we're out gardening and our windows are open at night and our screen doors are open because it's so warm out.
Or we're painting, we leave the ladder up beside the side of the house.
And somebody climbs up the ladder
into your house,
and into the upstairs room.
Yeah, so that's a given. I've seen that a lot, and people leave ladders out, and next thing you know, the kids are up on the roof and in through upstairs.
Well, we need a longer checklist here.
Yes.
I think there's more things we can put on this checklist.
I'm sure there's tons we haven't thought of, but it's about being proactive. And we lead busy lives, and when it's time to go on vacation, we just want to close the door and walk out. But you can't really do that if you want to make sure that at the end of the day, when you come back, that your house is going to be in the same state that you left it.
Well, and one of the other things you have to be concerned about is who you're telling you're going to be away on vacation. Announcing things on social network is not a good idea.
I think we could probably have an entire show based on this. How often have you heard from a friend, either through a company email or a posting on Facebook or a tweet saying, I'm going away for 2 weeks. It's my dream vacation. I leave on Saturday. That's just an invitation, is it not?
Well, when we put a voicemail at our office saying, I'm going to be out of the office, I mean, whether you say I'm going to be out of the office for 3 weeks, or you just say I'll be in the office and contact somebody else. Because if you're gone for 3 weeks, chances are you're probably on a vacation.
Mm-hmm. Somebody trying to break into your home, they're just an opportunist. They're looking for any opportunity to find that you're away or find out that your house is empty.
And another one, people don't even think about, they're having a great time and they're taking pictures, and here's me and in Argentina, I'm having a great time, here's pictures of me. Well, obviously you're not at home, so
exactly. Yeah, be smart about that. I usually, if I post a picture on Facebook, it's usually a week after I've come home, and someone will say, oh, are you away? And I'd say, no, that was last week.
Very
That's
smart.
a smart thing to do.
Be smart, be proactive. You're listening to Experts on Call on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton, and joined in studio today are the insurance experts Tara Rary from Intact Insurance, along with Andrew Tablotny of Laguerre Pelling Insurance. You can get more information at intact.ca. We'll be right back to continue this discussion on insurance and travel right here on Experts on Call on CL 650.
This is Experts on Call on CL 650.